Okay, I'm going to talk today about popping your pimples. So, have you guys ever woke up in the middle of woke up in the morning only to find a zit right there on your face, or here, or here? What do? The first thing you want to do is pop it, pop it, pop it. So, we're going to talk about why we shouldn't pop our zits. So, there's just something deeply gratifying about getting our fingers up there and just popping that zit. We don't like imperfections on our face, and so we want to get rid of them as quickly as possible. Maybe you have a date, maybe you have a party, some kind of fancy occasion that you're going to be going to that night, and there's no way you're going to go with that pimple on your face. So we shouldn't let it ruin or dictate our lives. Did you know that acne is actually a disease and that it affects 80% of people ranging from the age of 11 to 30 years old? They occasionally will have outbreaks of pimples. So it's not like it's something that doesn't happen to everybody. So first of all, let's talk about why or how we even get pimples on our faces and what we need to do once we have find a pimple on our face, and then maybe what are some remedies that we can come up with that will help the pimple disappear a little bit faster. So first of all, how do pimples form? The excess oil and dead skin form plugs in our glands. The pores become clogged with oil and bacteria. Basically, a pimple is a clogged pore. The area around your pimple will then get red and inflamed. So basically, you have millions and millions of little wells or pores on your skin that can easily become clogged and infected. So now, what do we do when we get or find a pimple on our face? So many of you, I know, are probably addicted to watching Dr. Pimple Popper. The Pimple Popper makes it actually appear that it is okay to take matters into your own hands and to pop your pimples. But is it really that safe? So some may argue that if you don't pop your zit, that it's going to get more infected down there in your skin. Others will argue that if you pop the zit, it's going to spread all over your face. So what actually do we do? On Teens Health, we're told popping isn't the way to go. Patience is the key. Your pimple will disappear on its own, and pretty soon you won't even be able to tell that it's there. Dr. Shaw, MD, a board-certified dermatologist from New York City, tells us that by popping our pimples, we're actually tearing our skin, basically leaving an opened wound on our face where more bacteria, more dirt, more infection can get in. So while you're pressing down on that bump, what you're really doing is pressing on the skin and you're releasing a little bit of the infection that's on the top, but you're pushing the rest of it down into your skin further, tearing your skin, leaving a gaping hole for more infection. So there was a young lady that had a pimple right here on her forehead, and she let it go for a couple of days, and then finally she couldn't take it anymore, so she popped it. But within several minutes, her face was swelling up. Her forehead was just red and inflamed, and it was very, very painful. So she ended up going to the emergency room, and what she found out was that it wasn't a pimple. It was staph infection that had affected the cellular tissue, and it resembled a pimple. So after squeezing it, she was at risk for infection that could very easily travel to her brain or to her eyes, causing blindness or even death. So is there a rule about popping pimples? No, there isn't. But it's a proven fact that popping pimples causes greater infection and greater risk for something else greater happening than just a small pimple on your face. So what are some ways that we can get rid of pimples? besides popping them. So our society nowadays wants everything now, or they want it yesterday. And so when you find a pimple on your face, you want it taken care of right there. But experts say this is the time that we should really practice self-control and patience, patience, patience. So what can we do? We can put a warm compress on our pimple, and let maybe a couple of times a day put something warm on there. We can even dab a piece of toothpaste, lemon juice, or baking soda to make the pimple dry out. You could apply tea tree oil. Milk is also known for unclogging pores, so you could put some on a cotton ball and kind of dab it on your pimple several times a day. Applying ice will help with the redness and with the inflammation that you have. So in conclusions, pimples are annoying, but they're part of life. Pimples should not be popped because you would increase tearing your skin and adding more bacteria and dirt and scarring on your face. There are several home remedies that can help you get rid of the pimple a little bit faster. Pimples require a great deal of patience. So when you wake up in the morning and you find a pimple on your face, hands up, back away, leave it alone. Patience, patience, patience is the key.